Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and this is Top 5s, the only weekly Top 5 show in snowboarding. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the top 5 ways to shred more. That's right, you want to ride as much as possible? Maybe you should be doing some of the stuff on this list. Number 5, sell your soul and go work for an evil mega resort. Or just any resort. No, seriously though, you could go work for the resort, and there's a lot of jobs that actually let you ride a bunch, especially if you work evenings. Most people don't talk about this, but if you're like a night auditor, night janitor, something like that, that gives you your days free to actually ride. Years ago, I had a couch critter that was living in my apartment that only worked evening shift doing lodge maintenance, take out the trash, scrub down the tables, clean the chairs, and maybe vacuum, and that was it. He would work from 5 to 11 every night, plus he got free food, and then he would shred all day. That was it. And they were paying him more than what lifties or instructors were making. I think he was making at the time like 18 an hour, and minimum wage I think was like 7 something. So he was making really good money to just clean the lodge and get to shred all day. Kind of makes sense though. Work for the mountain, get to shred as much as possible, depending on what career choice you do, because there are actual jobs that don't let you shred. Ski school, especially if you're babysitting those small ass children, you know. Parking attendants, they're there early too. Yeah. So be smart with your choices and you'll be able to get to ride all the time. Number 4, move to an area that has a really long season. October to May. That's a long season. The longer the season, the more opportunities to actually go snowboarding. So look around at where you want to live and ask yourself, well, hey, does that seasonal length coincide with my type of lifestyle I want to live? If it does, then yeah, it's something to definitely consider. Number 3, actually use your vacation days. I know I hear this all the time. Oh, I wish I could snowboard more. I never used all my vacation days or my sick days. Just use the damn things. Who cares if there's going to be more work for you to do when you come back from vacation or your sick leave? Who gives a shit? No one's going to care on your deathbed if you're like, I worked as much as possible. Go enjoy your friggin' life. In the United States alone, so many people do not use their sick days, and then they only go on vacation when it's peak season, so they're standing around in line. You're basically saying, my time is not valuable, I'll waste it. Why would you do that? If I had a job that actually gave me sick days, I'd use them. Then again, I work for myself, so when I'm sick, I just take time off, so who cares? But seriously, so many people aren't using their vacation days at all. It makes the most sense. And if you would use your vacation days when it's non-peak times, you'd have a better vacation, you'd get to shred more, or maybe you set it up through the winter that you're only working 4 days a week. That way you got your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or you take like a midweek off and then you work through the weekend, and that way you're not dealing with the crowds. Logic, people, use it. Modern problems call for modern solutions. Number 2, make a career around riding. I know, you're like, Avran, I don't want your job. No one wants my job. I don't want anyone to have my job because it's horrible. But I do get to snowboard a lot. Like a real lot. I think I rode like 150 days this year. It's ridiculous. Anyways, if you make a career around riding, you're going to be able to actually snowboard more. Whether that means you become one of those lifetime snowboard instructors, or maybe you're like a lift mechanic that works in the evenings, or you're just a product reviewer like myself, or you know, you could hate your life and just become a vlogger and have everyone look at how lame you fucking are. But hey, you get to snowboard. I mean, can't take that away from these people. I mean, even if they haven't progressed, they suck, and all they do is make clickbait bullshit. But you can do that. You could make a career around it. Not saying it's going to be easy, but you could. Honorable mentions, all great options, but just barely didn't make it on this list. Go to college in a shred town. There's a reason that CMC and Steamboat was called See Me Ski. Everyone that went just went there so they could ride. You get the most out of it. You get a college education, it's a 4-year school, and you got to snowboard every day. Or you moved to someplace like Salt Lake, and that way it puts you really close around a lot of resorts, and then you set your schedule around that so you can ride more. Or you go to Montana. Basically, look at the proximity of the school to a resort and ask yourself, am I going to be able to shred with my college workload? And if you set it up right, you could totally take advantage of this. Date a cougar or silver fox and become a Shredtown hobosexual. The older the berry, the sweeter the juice? I don't know. I'm just saying, most older people are already established, and if you can find a way to leech off of them, you could probably shred more. Have a trust fund. Hopefully your parents took care of you and you have one. And that way you can cash it in and just shred all the time and never have to worry about bills. But the key to this is to look as destitute as possible. Have money, but look as destitute as possible. No one cares that you're driving an Audi A6. As long as you're like, oh man, I don't know if I can afford these $2 tacos. Just look as destitute as possible. That way people take pity on you and then you spend less money. And the number one way you can shred more with your lifestyle choices, be rich. I mean, this just seems obvious, and I saw someone else's list where they basically said everything else on this list except be rich. No, be rich. I mean, seriously, since I've been a snowboard bum for like 25 years, and now I'm a successful snowboard bum, the only thing I can say is that if you're rich, it's just infinitely easier to snowboard more. It sucks. Snowboarding is expensive, mountain towns are expensive, but yeah, being rich. Sorry, peasants. If you're poor, it's just, well, you're doing it wrong, I guess. I don't know. Then again, I've never really made more than $35,000 a year. I still snowboard 150 days a year. I guess I'm rich in shred culture. So there's better ways to be rich. Anyways, be rich, people. Or not. I don't know. This has been my top 5 ways to shred more. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did I forget one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this list. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and hopefully the pores don't revolt and kill me, and I'll see you in another video.